Hi everyone, welcome to the Morningside School of Music channel. Today I'm going to talk about some items that every guitarist should own that makes life just that little bit easier if you're a guitarist. I know I'm sitting in front of a piano, but let's put that to the side just now. Right, the first thing that you're going to need is a very reliable tuner. Now you can get lots of different types of guitar tuners. Sympathetic resonation ones which pick up vibrations that go through the neck tend to be the most accurate. Now, the one I recommend is the Polytune by TC Electronic. They're a little bit more expensive, but what you get is what you pay for. What you pay for is what you get. And these are very, very reliable. They're also very, very accurate. And you can tune all your strings at the same time. You just connect it to your guitar, strum the strings, and it'll tell you what string needs to be tightened. Of course, you can use it on a bass, a ukulele, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. I swear by my Polytune. It is the most accurate tuner and the most reliable tuner I've ever came across. So I'll put a link in the description, you can check that out. The next thing you want is decent plectrums, right? Again, you don't want cheap flimsy plectrums. I find the D'Addario range really reliable. The D'Addario plectrums are they feel good. This one, I like this because you've got a selection here. This is what they call the variety pack. And you've got thin, you've got thick, you've got the Tortex, you've got all different types in there. So get yourself a good set of plectrums. Again, product link is in the description. Now some other things you want to get. Now this one is still in the bag, but what this is, if I can open this quickly I will show you. These come with 2 screws. This is for hanging your guitar up on the wall. So this would attach to the wall, and your guitar can hang in here. Now there's been research carried out, I can't remember what university it was, but when your guitar is on show and you can see it, you're more likely to pick it up and practice it rather than if it was in the case and under your bed, for example. If your guitar is out in sight, you will practice more. So having it attached to the wall is a good thing to do, having your guitar out in sight. Plus it looks cool, right? So these are pretty cheap guitar stands, guitar holders, whatever you want to call them. I'll put a link in the description. The next thing you want to have is a Capo, or as the Americans call it, a Capo. This is a very reliable one. It's a simple, straightforward D'Addario one, but it's very, very accurate. It just does the job. You don't have any problems with it. I prefer these turning Capos in comparison to the clamps. They're easier to use. You know, the clamps, sometimes when you put them on, it bends the strings ever so slightly and puts your guitar ever so slightly out of tune. These ones are really accurate. So this again is a D'Addario product. I'll put the link in the description. Some other cool things worth having is a good set of cutters for cutting when you put new strings on your guitar, little snips. You just want to be able to snip the string off very accurately at the tip without hitting any of the other strings, or more importantly without damaging the wood in your guitar. I used to repair guitars, and the amount of guitars that come in, the headstocks would be all chipped, dented, damaged, scratched, and you could see it was because people are using scissors or big sets of pliers to cut the strings. These are incredibly accurate because they're so small at the end. You can get in very close and cut the string, and it comes with a nice little cover at the top to prevent you cutting yourself. Put a link in the description. Next thing I have is Planet Waves wipes. Well, it's actually cream and a wipe. So the first one, it's a 3-pack. The first one is Restore. It's for deep cleaning, cream polish. That is for getting all the dirt off your guitar. If you've got a kind of lacquered body, you would polish that in. Secondly, you've got Protect, which is wax. It's a type of wax that you rub in, and that protects the body of your guitar. And the third part is a Shine. So it's a pre-treated cleaner and maintainer cloth, and it's a type of cloth that doesn't scratch the lacquer on your guitar. So these are really good things to have. You want to keep your guitar nice and clean. If you look after your guitar, you know, there's nothing worse than a dirty, smelly guitar. So these are good things to buy. Link in the description. By the way, these also come in little containers, step 1, 2 and 3, by Planet Waves or D'Addario, the sister company, and you can see that I've actually been using here. The detailer is almost like the restorer, the guitar wax, and the spray cleaner which comes in a little squirt bottle. These are a little they pour out like shampoo. So these, I'll put the link in the description as well. What else do we have here? For the neck of your guitar, see when you take the strings off, a lot of gunk, dead skin cells, sweat, dust, all sorts of horrible stuff builds up on the wood of your guitar, and also the wood on the neck of your guitar dries out. So the food that your guitar neck likes, as long as it's not lacquered of course, if it's just a wooden neck that's not been lacquered, lemon oil. Now lemon oil cleans all the crap off, all the disgusting junk off the neck of your guitar, all the dead skin cells and stuff, and it also conditions the wood, and it makes the guitar smell that little bit nicer as well because it's got a lemony smell. So I would strongly recommend this. Every guitar repairer worth their salt, this is what they use to clean the neck of your guitar, the fret side of your guitar. Okay, so it comes in a little bottle, you pour a little drop onto a cloth and you wipe round about. You can actually use a blunt plastic object behind the cloth and use it to get in at the frets, just to scrape any dead skin cells away, and then you just rub it in, leave it for a little bit until it kind of conditions, moisturises the neck if you like, and then you just rub any excess off. Great thing to have. So that's the lemon oil. Next thing that I would strongly recommend, I'm just going to grab some paper to show you this. And do you know what, I will shut the piano and use this as a desk. So I've got my pad here. The first thing is a music stamp. Now this first one is for tab. I've got my 6 lines, so I can go in and I can draw, you know, for making little notes. Something like this. So it's probably going to look rather small on this, but it just prints out tab, 6 strings. And the other one, if you've got one of those, you probably want one of these. Chord boxes. These are fantastic, especially if you're a guitar teacher and you want to be able to put your chords out for your students. You can do this very quickly. There's nothing worse than trying to use a ruler, it takes so much time. Of course you can print these out on our website. I will put a link to a page of these blank tabs and blank chord boxes which you can print out and just have ready. They're good to have in your guitar bag. If you're at practice and you just want to scribble down some chords like I'm doing just now, it just saves so much time. So there we have G, C, D and some tab. So that was the chord stamp and the tab stamp, which I'll put a link in the description. And that's pretty much it. I beg your pardon, that's not it. Sorry. Another thing worth getting, right? And anyone who's played electric guitar for more than, let's say, a year, you will know this, is a decent guitar cable, decent guitar lead. If you buy cheap cables from eBay or from Amazon, or you pay like £2, £3, £4 or $5 or whatever for a guitar cable, they will not last, they will break. You want to pay about, I don't know, I would say around about £30, $30, €30, whatever you want to call it, and get yourself a good guitar cable. You can see this one's pretty dirty, it's been well used. It's old now and it still works. It is, it's got closed ends on it, so they've been contained with plastic so it stops air getting into the cable, and it is woven as well with material so that protects the cable even longer. Knowing how to wrap a cable as well, I'll just show you this very quickly, because this is the most important thing I've ever learned when it comes to making your cables last. And you just don't want to go through cables all the time. There's nothing more annoying. This was taught to me when I was at college many years ago, and it's called the BBC loop. And I believe it was invented by BBC technicians because they were going through so much cable that they decided to find a way to make their cables last longer. So what you do is you take your cable, you pull it about shoulder width, and as you're bringing it together, you're twisting your right hand ever so slightly to put a little loop in the cable. And then you're doing that again. And again, I should have straightened this cable out first. But as I do this, you can see that it's going into a loop. Then I put the cable through the loop, through one more time, pull gently, and you should be able to hold it on your pinky without it unraveling. That will make your cables last so much longer. The worst thing you can do in a cable is have a straight edge. I won't do it to this cable because I don't want to break it, but a kind of 90-degree bend, or even worse, all the way right round. That will damage your cables. So invest in a good cable. This is a Fender FG10T, and strongly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description. If you're practicing a lot in the house, even if you're not a classical guitarist, you're an acoustic guitarist, or you've not got a guitar strap, it's good to invest in a guitar pedal, right? Because this will take pressure off your back, it'll take pressure off your leg, and it just means you can sit your foot on here and stop your guitar sliding off your leg. These aren't expensive. I'd strongly recommend you get one, especially again if you're a teacher, you've got kids who are playing guitar because their legs won't reach the floor and they need that little bit of lift to stop the guitar sliding off their leg. Especially if you're a classical guitarist, you must have one of these, right? And then the last thing on the list is just a selection of music books for making you better. Now, the amount of guitar students that I see who have maybe played for a long time, let's say an adult, let's say we get an adult coming in, he starts playing when he's a kid, he keeps playing when he's a teenager, stops when he goes to university, whatever, decides when he's 30 he wants to get back into it, plays for a few years, but realises he's not getting any better. In fact, if we even cut that whole story down and just have people in general who play guitar, they find they get up to a certain level and they go round in circles, and it tends to be because they're not challenging themselves anymore. They play the Beatles, they play Oasis, they play AC/DC, maybe even Led Zeppelin, but they don't get any better, and they come to us and say, how can I get better? Well, structured learning is a good place to start. So getting yourself on some grades, because the good thing about grades is I compare it to having belts in karate, where you're working up towards black belt. Well, in music you're working up to grade 8, and then you can even go into, you know, diploma level and go and do a degree if you want. But different types of books we have. This is Trinity College London, and Trinity College offer grades. They have a mixture of kind of classical, jazz, rock, pop going on in here, and they're pretty advanced as you go through. So it starts off at the bottom all the way up to grade 8. So this is Trinity College. They're one of the big ones in the UK. They've been on the go for a while. The other people we have are, or their syllabi rather, is Rockschool, who have now changed their name to RSL, and they offer grades as well, up to grade 8. And we have different types of Rockschool books. This is Rockschool Classic. You can see here this is for grade 4, and in here we have such songs as Razorlight, Before I Fall to Pieces, Thin Lizzy, The Boys Are Back in Town, Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger. We've got Eric Clapton, Edge of Darkness, Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Joe Satriani, Ice Nine, Black Sabbath, Iron Man, AC/DC, Whole Lotta Rosie. You've got the tab in there, you've got the sheet music, it comes with downloads, and yeah, I would recommend checking out Rockschool stuff. I'll put the website link and the links to the books in the description below. And here are some other Rockschool books. This is Debut, this is pre-grade 1, so before you do your grade 1 you can do Debut. We've got some other Rockschool books. You can see we've got Green Day, Stereophonics, Booker T and the MGs, Temptations, The Script, Adele, Jimi Hendrix, Adele, all sorts of people in here. And they come hot rock books as well, which are like add-on books where you can pick some of the songs out of these books and put them towards your grade rather than using the main books if you want a little bit of a mixture. The other one, which I don't have the books, they're actually in one of the other rooms right now. There's music lessons going on in the music school here, and the ABRSM guitar books are in one of the other rooms. I don't want to disturb the lesson, but the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music make guitar books which are classical. I'd also recommend those if you want to do classical guitar lessons or classical guitar grades. They're pretty in-depth. They don't have tab. It means you would have to learn to read sheet music, but any good qualified music teacher would be able to help you with that. So I hope this has been helpful, a little insight to some of the tools we use as a music teacher or a guitar teacher, and what can be useful if you want to make sure you have a whole range of things to your hand if you're going to be teaching yourself, or if you're going to be playing a lot and you want to look after your musical instrument. If you have any questions, please email us below, put a comment in the section below, and I'll try my best to answer, or one of the other music teachers will answer. I hope this has been useful. Thanks for following our video. Thanks for liking. Every like helps us, every comment helps us. I know you hear this in every video on YouTube, but it really does. We're a small business, so thank you for that. And I'll see you in the next video.